order. Please rise. Let's go.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A couple things before we start everything. We're lacking two people that are normally up here. They're on vacation. And if you notice, the roof is pretty well done, I think, except the back part, or yeah.
What's that?
The roof,
Done.
they did finish it, so we got a new roof. And at our last meeting, Carrie Richardson requested to talk to the board at this meeting. That has been changed. She will address the board at our next August meeting. Okay. Minutes. Everybody read their minutes?
I move we approve the minutes.
Second? Rich approved. Seconded by Larry. One of the people that isn't here is our clerk. So Adrian, she probably knows most of you know her. We're going to have to work together to try to get this taken care of and get it correct. And I told her if she's got questions, just to give me a poke and we'll stop and address it. All right. All in favor of the minutes? Aye. Opposed? Motion's carried. The bills. Everybody had a chance to review the bills.
Yep.
Do I have a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion.
Larry made a motion. Second?
I'll second it.
Lynn seconded it. Any concerns about it? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Accept the bills be paid. Under old business, we had a public hearing on the solar laws. We had a good turnout on it. There was some conversation back and forth, and some of those things got changed in the solar law. And once they come in and get completed back, Lee's going to get them onto the website. Right now, we're waiting for one change to be back, give to her so she can get it updated on the website. Everybody then can review what it is, and we'll go from there, probably our next meeting, and see about approving it. Water District 9, we have a bond that we need to vote on. And the paperwork is back. It says, please find the bond resolution associated with the establishment of Water District 9 from the Controller's Office, the recent approval of the establishment of the district. Congratulations on you receiving such approval. It is our understanding that the bond resolution is scheduled to be presented to the town board for consideration at the July 10th meeting. So we will be doing that. And please note that this bond resolution must be adopted by at least 2/3 of the vote of the entire town board, not just a fraction of those in attendance. In other words, the bond resolution must receive at least 4 affirmative votes. So when we vote on it, we'll call a roll call vote so that our Adrian can get whoever.
Then what's the total amount of the bond?
Yeah, I'm going to read it.
Well, not all of it.
Not all of it. Well, I'll read this part. Adrian, yeah, you've got it right there. The bond resolution dated July 10th, 2019, of the town board of the town of Beverly, Orleans County, New York, in parentheses, the town, authorizing a capital improvement project within Water District Number 9 in the town and the construction of improvements therein at an estimated maximum cost of $1,201,000. And authorizing A, the application of approximately $493,000 in grant funds from the USDA Rural Development Agency. And B, the issuance of a serial bonds in the aggregate principal amount not to exceed $708,000. Such amount of bonds to be offset by any additional federal, state, county, and/or local funds received by the town pursuant to the local finance law to finance said purpose, and delegating the powers to be issued in bond anticipation. Notes anticipation of this sale of such bonds to the town supervisor. So, do I hear anybody to make a resolution to accept that?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Lynn and Larry, yes. Any discussion on it? If not, all in favor, we'll start with Lynn.
Aye.
Rich?
Yes, I am.
Larry?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Next thing on the agenda is a reimbursement agreement. I had conversations today with individuals, and it seemed like this was put on to vote on it, either yes or no. One of the things of my concern is that I'm going to give you an update of what we've got on it, and we aren't going to take any vote one way or another. First of all, we never got the changes, any of the board members, until yesterday afternoon. So we've not had a chance to look at them. And the other thing is, we don't have a full board. We should have, every board member should be here to vote on that thing. What has happened with it, the original agreement was sent in, looked over, and then we had some questions on the terminology of some of the words and what they were saying. Basically, if you looked at one section of it, it didn't look very promising to the town. So a meeting was set, individuals met, changed and went over those things, came up with new rules and regulations. Between the attorneys, they were shuffled back and forth on it, and as I say, they may agree on them, but the town board members have not had a chance to look at it. So I'm not going to move anything on it. We can just table it until next month. We've had a chance to look at it. I don't feel it's...
Reimbursement. Please explain what was reimbursement.
The reimbursement is $50,000 for the town to retain special legal counsel or a technical consultant to assist in the review of aspects of the proposal of these firms. And these firms will be billed to the town at the time of material and services. So in other words, Apex Heritage has said, we have $50,000 available. And if you accept this, we will reimburse and pay for a consultant to look at your town laws and the windmill projects. Some of the wording in that did not say, or was not conducive as far as we were concerned for the town. There were some things in there that basically, and my interpretation of it was, Heritage, we sent them the bills, and they reviewed them. If they didn't agree with one, they would not pay that. They would pay the ones they agreed with, and they'd send the bill back to the town with no recourse of whatsoever to talk to them or do anything with it. So that was one of the changes. There was 2 or 3 other minor changes in it. As I say, I have not, and I know the other board members have not had a chance to review all of this, and we haven't been able to talk together. I don't feel personally we're doing this town any justice if we just vote on something and not know what's in it.
I agree, thank you.
Can we just go back to Water District 9 for a minute?
Sure.
All right.
So the bond resolution's adopted, but in addition to that, there's a notice that has to be published in the newspaper that was provided by Hodgson Russ. So the only question I have is who's gonna take care of that, if that's something Maureen's gonna do, or if I'm gonna do, but it's a notice that basically says that we adopted this bond resolution, and it contains a summary of the terms. It was in the cover letter from Hodgson Russ.
Okay, I don't have that one in front of me, so.
Okay.
Maureen is off until next week. She'll be back. Let's see, if you can do it, Lance, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think I should just-
Why don't you go ahead and
Just go ahead and do it, okay.
All right? Okay. Under new business, resolution for Water District 10 for a public hearing. District 10 will be covering the area of Angevine Road between Oak Orchard Road, East Berry Road, McNamara Road between Angevine Road and Transit Road, Transit Road between McNamara Road and Mansfield Road. That's what Water District number 10 will encompass. So we're going to have we can make a motion tonight to have a public hearing on August 8th or 14th at 6 p.m. prior to our town board meeting. It meets the guidelines of time limits and everything else with that. So if somebody could give me a
I'll make a motion.
motion to
I'll make it.
Lynn.
Would that be like 6 o'clock then before the town board?
Have somebody from BMG there. They usually have somebody from, Paul Chapman's office
Okay.
to explain things. 6 o'clock. So it's the 14th at 6?
14th at 6.
Wait, the 14th?
August 14th.
I wrote the 10th down, don't ask me. Sorry. I'm with you now.
Thank you. I think I was getting some of those dates mixed up last week when I showed up, nobody was here. Okay, budget transfers. I'll go through the budget transfers, then if somebody can make a motion to accept these transfers. We have one transfer, contingency to miscellaneous. Contingency is going to be $2,900 plus. Out of miscellaneous, it's going to be $30,000 plus for a total of $33,780, and it's going to go into traffic control, $400, street lighting, capital outlay, $2,583, research contractual, $30,797.64. The other transfer we're looking at is from machinery, contractual, $1,130, snow removal, $3,543, for a total of $1,100. Is that right? Yeah, total of $46.73, and it's going to be go to from snow removal to snow contractual and other services governed and services that we have to abide by for our highway funding. Water district, we're going to take water rents out of Albion of $250, transfer them to the water transfer distribution in Albion of $250. So we have a motion to accept these transfers. Larry makes a motion.
Second.
Rich, second. Any discussion on it, comments?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Okay, on our expenses, on June summary, expenditures through June averaged should equal 50% of the aggregate budget. Our townwide funds are 54.14%. Highway townwide the year is 35.46%. So we're within our budget, staying right on line of what we should be. Okay, Dale, do you have any?
This, everybody's got their report.
Right. Sign repairs completed, stakeout request completed, water samples and readings completed, equipment repairs completed as required, shared services for the Village of Albion, Orleans County Highway, towns of Albion, Gaines, Clarendon, Murray, and Shelby, paved sections of Hemlock Ridge, Crane, Culver, and Parkway. We done this past month. Clerk, you got anything? Anything else? Just that. Nothing from the assessor, highway committee, Larry, you got anything? Planning board, Kurt, you got anything?
Meeting with staff is back to business.
Back of business?
I'm assuming. Lee didn't say.
Zoning lead,
We will be meeting next week on Monday for a public hearing for property on Oak Orchard Road in Elbow. They're going to be adding on to their home and they need an area variance.
what time are you meeting?
7,
Sally, Monday?
yes.
Any update, Lynn, on the park?
No.
I know that we got an application in for the use of the pavilion from Apex. I can't remember, do you remember what the date was on it? I don't know. But Jason has been, and Greg have been coordinating ball games and the park's starting to be used. Dale is doing upkeep up there on it, trying to improve the mounds, which, as everybody that's in this area knows, that the ground gets to be concrete after a certain period of time. So he's working hard to keep that up in good shape for everybody. Rich, anything on utilities?
No, July.
Okay, Lance?
Just the, also our largest line, we have a certificate that needs to be signed and sent to rural development about the certification documents. We showed it. Rural, rural development.
This is Ken.
Wasn't that out there?
These,
This one?
yeah, Lee's got, yeah.
This has to be signed with either auditor
We can give it to Lance and he can send it through. So, it's okay. Okay. Speakers. And the other thing is, in signing in, I hope everybody printed their names, It's a little late right now, but Adrian said that she's not gonna get blamed for not being able to spell your name. Now, we got this timer up here, I don't know a darn thing about it, so if it goes off, don't worry about it. I'll stop you. Just to do that. First, we got Barbara Gersberg,
She's running away, but I don't know if you had anything prepared.
so she's not here, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Richard Cox.
I've only got a few things. The town minutes for the month of May, I didn't notice them on the computer tonight when I was looking. And I brought it up before for zoning board minutes from January. My understanding there has been meetings, but nothing is still posted about any of those meetings from January on to now. And the planning board was canceled. So I'd like to know if the minutes for, could be put on, which they normally approve in July from June, and pending approval in August. So people can read and see what's there.
I think that into consideration, I know we're working on some of these, on some of them. But we'll look, most of the time, everybody wants them approved before they put them on.
I understand.
But we can look into whether or not it's gonna be more convenient if we just put a draft on them and get them out to you soon.
Have you done draft on like solar panels and things, or like when that happened?
I don't know what the reality is.
Right.
He's telling me once they're approved, not before they're approved. So I guess we're stuck the same way we're going right now. And I was gonna ask you that afterwards, did you get your computer straightened out to get the solar stuff and everything on it? I think it was last meeting you had problems.
I got the draft is all I had, when the first draft went through. That's all I got. But, and one other thing is, how many, when you go to put public hearing in or anything like that in the paper, which you use the daily, Batavia Daily, how many days do you have to, before you put it in? Public hearing or anything you just
It
say?
varies on what it is, but for the water districts, it's a minimum of 10, maximum of 20 days. That has to be in the newspaper, and then the postings at the same time.
Okay. Are you aware that they no longer publish a Monday paper?
Yes, I didn't get one.
That's right, you won't.
It only has to be published once, that's all.
4 days a week.
Right, but I'm just saying, so if that falls in that time period, then you need to work it so there's an extra day someplace in there. Am I correct?
Now, today is the 10th, right?
Right.
So, 20 days is not gonna be until the 16th in any event. And we should have everything sent to them and telling them, these are the dates, you know, between these two dates you have to put in the paper. That's what we normally do.
Okay, everything is listed, what you're gonna cover?
Yes,
Okay.
it's a description of the project, you know, where, and the cost, and the method of financing, and how it's gonna be assessed, in other words, on a, you know, per parcel basis and things like that. That's all of the, they call it an order, that's just the term that they use, just kind of it really is a notice, and it's got all these provisions in
Okay, thank you.
it.
Okay, Jane Grabowski.
Tom, you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
I'd like the board to make a note that next year there will be 3 elections. So when you're budgeting, you should budget for 3 elections, and all elections will now be from 6 a.m. until 9 p.m., starting with after November. That's the same hours. But there's no more primaries that are from noon to 9.
Okay, and early voting, is Is that gonna be one location?
Early voting is gonna be at the new county office building. We did get some, we're getting some grant money from the state that will pay for the early voting for this year, so we don't know if it'll continue on. We're hoping that it will continue on, because it's like 9 days and it's 66 hours.
Yeah, well, I was just concerned because it would affect us in our budget too. If they-
I don't think that's going to affect you next year, but see, we're starting our budgeting already in the county, and I don't know when you start yours, and I think we are getting a letter out to you if you haven't got it already. So if you note it now, then at least you have a heads up on it.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Christine Loss,
I'll pass.
you passed. Kurt Mattis,
Yeah, nothing.
John Messer,
Not
Ivan McKenna.
Oh, I've always got something
Just don't get on the table.
to say.
I don't,
Yeah, Liz.
other people,
You
you
missed
can
it.
take the responsibility, I'm not taking it.
Okay, so I've got 3 different things that I would like to say this evening. One is there was a meeting.
Whoa, wait a minute.
I'm so insulted.
I don't even know how to start this thing.
It's all right, just let me talk. I won't take that long. So anyway, there was a meeting Wednesday. What? Monday. Okay. Anyway, there was a meeting a while ago, and it kind of happened that it was put on the website at 11 o'clock or 10 or 11 o'clock the night before. Thank you, Lee, for that heroic effort from the lake. But also, and the notification went up when it opened here at 10 o'clock in the morning about a meeting at 11 o'clock. And I was really frustrated. Ask Lance. I was just flat out rude because I was very offended that something like that could happen. It just does not seem democratic to me. It doesn't seem right in so many ways. And when there is concern for a lack of trust, it only feeds into it when that kind of a situation happens. And I hate to say it to you Apex people, but generally people in the United States don't trust government and big business, so you're already in the hole. And so when things like that happen, we're feeling like, oh man, what's going on? What's all the hush-hush about? Why is this hurry-up meeting? What's going on? Okay, so I need to apologize to Lance, and I will apologize again to Sean, but I just feel like that's wrong, apparently. It's not. It's okay, depending on what the situation is. I'm gonna work on that one, because it kind of seems to me like if they have to notify people, then give people a chance to get there. 10 o'clock for an 11 o'clock meeting, nobody would be comfortable with that. So anyway, I would suggest, please, you guys, whenever there is an opportunity, if it's something urgent that somebody's, in some dire circumstances for whatever reason, absolutely, I understand. But when it happens like that, it makes us just feel like, whoa, things are not going right here. This is not the way that we would like to have it. So I apologize for that. But I would also, please, give us some consideration in the community. Another community thing is that I think that 8 or 10 years ago, Dick, I'm sure, could tell me when, that it went through before about there being wind turbines, there's a possibility of wind turbines in Barry, God bless you. And anyway, we never knew anything about it. We were here living our incredibly busy life with our children in animal hospital and all kinds of stuff, but we never knew anything about it. And again, please, when there is anything that affects everyone in our community, I'll tell you, I don't think there could be better spent tax dollars than for everyone in our community to be notified via mail. Not email, because I don't know about you guys and how your email works or how your situation is as far as internet, but ours is not always very good. So I really feel that it's so important, and I'm gonna beat this drum again when everybody is here, but I feel that it is so important for everyone in the community to be notified. If they choose to do nothing about it, the monkey's off our back. But it's our responsibility to let everyone know this is government of the people, by the people, and for the people, last time I checked. And so please, I would just like to encourage everyone to, anytime there's a time that something major, like 680-foot wind turbines is concerned, I think that we need to be notifying everyone of what's going on, not just thinking that they're going to get it through email, because it's just not necessarily so. And I would also like to thank NACA's and the Know Your Facts for putting the information on the website, for recording the meetings so that we can have record of the things that happen. And I just feel like that's so important for those people that can get internet to have an opportunity to somehow try to be able to see what happens at these meetings. And so I appreciate that. And I do appreciate, although I may not seem like it all the time, I do appreciate all the time and effort that you guys put into it. So thank you.
Thank you. Dr. George.
Maybe we can get some more information on this or not. Back when this started, our wind ordinance says 500 feet. That's it. And Apex was proposing at that time 590, which didn't make any sense to me. If they already knew our zoning was 500, why continue to spend the money? And Rich had a good answer for that. He came back and said, hey, we can't stop somebody that, if they only need a $50,000 tractor, we can't stop them from buying a $250,000 tractor. That's on them. Okay, that's on them. I went to a planning board meeting for Albany, came and talked and that, and it was kind of nice. They said right in the one meeting, no matter how good a proposition thinks, if it doesn't correspond to your zoning, if it's out of your zoning, the answer is simply no. No, it can't come in. That makes sense to me. And then, what doesn't make sense is for the last 2 months prior to this, maybe 3 Apexes, the professional referendum or whatever was put on the agenda to get a motion to relook at our zoning and the height of the wind turbines. And no, we're not going to look at it. Presented again, no, we're not going to look at it. We're not even going to make a motion on it. And then to all of a sudden still have a meeting with our lawyer and their lawyers all the way from Syracuse, so I don't think it was planned a half an hour before, to get together to have this meeting. I don't understand that. Lance, I don't know if you're getting paid for that meeting, but I don't know why. That didn't make sense to me. So I guess I'll leave it as with Rich's thing. Who's dumber? Somebody that buys a $250,000 tractor that only needs a $50,000 tractor? Or somebody that sells a $250,000 tractor for $50,000? I don't know. Let's just take what we're doing.
Thank you. Robin Napa.
Robin Napa, 4285 Oak Orchard Road. I'd like to ask Tom at this time, Know Your Facts USA gave 5 microphones that can sit up front, and also a microphone for everyone to speak into, because many times we can't hear those that are speaking.
I can't hear you anyway.
See, and if we had the blasted microphones up there, is everybody stop being such an idiot, everybody be able to know what's going on. Now, if it's the concern that you don't have a speaker that will work with them, I will buy a damn speaker for you, okay? So please put it up and please get it done. Everyone in this town has the right to know what's going on, and we shouldn't have to strain to hear. Now, Sean has a very good voice to give, and that's wonderful, but there are those that cannot speak well and need to have an access. So let's get it up and going for the people. Show the people that you care a little bit, please.
I hope you aren't referring me losing my voice. Thank you, we will, Brian. Carrie Richardson.
Carrie Richardson, East Ferry Road, and I just wanted to address a couple of things. One is the professional fee reimbursement agreement. I just want to express, again, my concerns with this proposed agreement. I have not seen the updated one, but I did look at the other one, and my concern is just all of the strings that are attached that gives the developer the steering wheel on the $50,000. My thoughts is they're going to suggest something to just give the town the $50,000, let the town, and I think it's very important, this is a key point, if the $50,000 would come, I really think it's important that a committee be established, a wind ordinance committee, where Ferry members sit down and decide who our experts are going to be, who the attorneys would be, to review the wind ordinance. I think that that would facilitate the best, well-rounded option and the best opportunity for our town, because you'd have all the different vantage points looked at. I also think that just the concern, I appreciate you waiting and looking at it and making sure, doing your due diligence on ensuring that the professional fee reimbursement agreement is up to par. We know what their objective is with it. So the concern is it just a bribe for the town to change our wind ordinance? We know the reason that they want to provide this $50,000 is because they need us to change the wind ordinance in order to align with their proposed project as the turbines that they're proposing continue to increase in height. I also wanted to share, you guys have hopefully seen the Met Tower data from the Thorpe Road and the Root Road and Angevine Road towers, and you'll notice that those are not, they're not great, we don't have a great wind resource in our town. We're not on the plains, we're not on a coastal area, we're not on a ridge, we don't have high elevation. And I wanted to share, so today I went on the New York State Independent System Operators website. There are currently, according to APEX's response to a question that was posted from that February 28th meeting, that there are 1,108 industrial wind turbines located across New York State. And those wind turbines are name-plated to produce about 2,083.1 megawatts of electricity. At the time that I checked this, which was 3:50 p.m. today, they produced 0.12% of our electricity. They were producing a total of 50 megawatts. That's 1,108 industrial wind turbines producing 50 megawatts across the entire state. They are only producing 1.39% of what these projects were marketed to produce. My concern as a New York State taxpayer, doesn't matter if you live in this community or not, you're looking at $2 million structures paid for by taxpayers and by your electric bill, the green energy portion of your electric bill, that are going up, and they aren't producing the electricity that they're supposed to be producing. I know that we don't have the infrastructure for the electricity to get where it's needed. There's just so many capacities of this, and it's really frustrating to see. It's not an effective way to produce energy, produce electricity, and our community doesn't have the wind resource to produce that electricity. So, thank you.
Your information, Gary, this was
Oh, okay, so I was good on the 5 minutes? Good.
we're just under 5 minutes.
Perfect.
Christine, you sure you don't have anything? You're listening twice on here. Gary Palmer.
Gary Palmer, Oak Orchard Road. There's been a lot stated on the internet and whatnot, that farmers have the right to do what they want with their property. And this is basically true. We all have the right to do what we want with our property. However, as a nation of laws and regulations, there's laws, rules, and regulations that tell us what we can and cannot do. I can't stack 500 cars on my property. I can't stack 100 dead cows. It's not allowed by law. For something like that to happen, you know, I would have to come and ask permission to have it done. I gotta ask permission to have a building built. It's the same thing with these industrial wind towers. They are industrial wind towers. They're not farm implements. They are not farm ground. Fancy titles are put on them to make them sound, you know, agricultural and whatnot. However, they're not. As Carrie's just stated, they don't really produce any power. They cost millions of dollars and just sit by, idly sitting by. There is a need for green power in the United States. I won't argue that. However, we have green power right now that we can tap that is not being tapped. There's landfill gases. Every time you drive by a landfill and see flame flowing, there's gas that's being wasted. It's not being converted to energy. Waste Management is one of the biggest green producers of electricity in the world. You pay them to take your garbage that they need to run their landfill so that they can collect the gas to create electricity and natural gas. They reclean it, put it back into the system. I'll bet most of you didn't even know that. I didn't know it until a couple of months ago when I interviewed with a company that builds the generators that converts that dirty gas into viable electricity. Got quite an education on it, and then went online and started doing some research and really got an eye-opening. We've got landfills that have gas in them that's not being tapped at all green energy. Niagara Falls seldom runs more than 70% of capacity. 70% of capacity. They can't get the power downstate. There is no transmission lines. Wind turbine companies don't want to put in transmission lines. It's a costly expense to transport their own product. How does a dairy farm get their milk to market? They pay some guy to come and transport it. It's not done for free. They got to pay for doing it. It's part of their cost of doing business. That being said, before you are going to make something that's going to produce something, you better have a way to get it to market. It's not our people's problem to get that to market. There's been communities that have been taxed to put up transmission lines because the turbine companies could not get their power to where it had to go. It's not up to the community to provide that. The community ain't making any money off of anything. They're just looking at as far as some are concerned, an ugly piece of equipment that soars into the sky. So, you know, like I said, we can do what we want with our property up to a point, and that point is whatever's allowed by the rules and regulations. That's why, you know, we have a wind ordinance. It's been reviewed. It was voted on that nothing was gonna change. Why are we looking at it again? We're looking at it again because Big Brother's putting a thumb on us saying, hey, you're gonna do this. We are free and independent people. We have the right to stand up and say, no. It is a government for the people, by the people. We need to remember that. We do have a voice, and that voice needs to be heard. If I'm on the other side of the fence than you, so be it. That is my right as an American citizen. I have a right to my opinion. And as a United States Marine, I fought for that right, and I fought for your right to be on the other side of the fence. So let's not get bitter and vile. Everybody has a right to say what they want. We need to remember that, and we need to exercise that.
Thank you. Kelly Dudley.
Very Betterment Committee. On June 22nd, we held our first square dance in the park. We served hot dogs, chips, and soda. The committee and their family members donated most of our goods for it, and they also worked the event. We also had a basket auction and a 50-50 raffle. Kim's Kitchen, I don't know if many of you have heard of her, but she has a bakery in Barry. She donated 100 cupcakes to our event, so we thanked her for that. All in all, we think our estimate was we had 150 people at this event. So it was a really good family or community event. And we feel it was a big hit, and we want to do it again next year. And we'd like to thank everybody who came out, all our sponsors, our band, Cabin Fever, and our caller. And our next meeting is going to be on September 12th at 7 p.m. And we're going to be working on our next event, which is a hunter's breakfast. And it's going to be opening day of Shotgun. Deer season, for all you who don't know what that is.
Thanks, Guy. I'm going to change a little something. Last month, Dick Cox had a question about the internet. He wasn't able to work it. These are things that the town board needs to know, and maybe you aren't going to sign up to just say that. So everybody that spoke, you've had your turn. If there's anybody here now that has a comment on something that we're doing, or they question what we're doing, you feel free to raise your hand. I'll hear them. If not, the board got anything to interject?
I'd like to go into an executive session.
All right. Make a motion yet?
I got something.
Oh, wait a minute.
Pertaining to public hearings. In 2008, we did have a public hearing when we passed the wind ordinance that we had. And we had not quite this many people, but people did attend. And we had the public hearing for our solar, and I think it was a poor showing. But it was publicized, Clear Skies had it on there. When I went home, Carrie and I were both in the yard. I mean, they could have been here.
Crying out loud, you keep closer eye on me than George does.
But here's my point.
Start to talk.
Here's my point.
Sorry, all right, sorry.
I have a point to make. People don't care until it's gonna happen in their backyard. So, you got only yourself to blame when you don't show up. That's it.
Did you see what the
Can I ask what it's in regards to?
Highway. Is that good enough? Highway.
Well, okay, it's supposed to be
We're
like.
allowed to have highway, right?
Go ahead.
Well, it has to, go ahead, tell them we're gonna deal with it.
I'm just wondering, like, the executive session, there's like my understanding is there's 5 specific reasons to have executive sessions. And so I just am wondering, and you're supposed to just say, like, if it's highway negotiations or whatever it is that you're gonna be discussing in executive session, that you just share that prior to going into executive session.
It's highway, as far as I know. You've got a
Highway negotiation.
Highway contract.
Okay, that's still up in the air, it hasn't been signed
Yeah, that's all I was just curious.
yet.
I'll second his motion.
That way we're gonna talk about you, but
Okay, motion to go into executive session,
Okay.
made by Larry, seconded by Rich. So if you need the time that we go into that, then when we come out, then we'll close the regular meeting. We need to vote on it. Yep, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Session. Do I hear a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Mary made the motion.
I'll second it.
Lynn seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting's adjourned.